Ah, welcome back, you walking contradiction of calm destruction and divine protection. You, the one they should have never targeted, the one whose life they assumed was unguarded, exposed, undefended. They thought you were alone, vulnerable, a solitary figure standing in the open field of their hostility. And yet when they launched their full-force attack, something happened that none of their strategies accounted for. Their aggression hit a wall, an invisible armor, a force they could neither name nor comprehend. 1,000 adversaries moved against you, synchronized, prepared, confident in their numbers. But your unseen allies froze every one of their moves before a single blow could land. They attacked your name, your peace, your destiny, your lineage. But every assault collapsed mid-air like a weapon turned to vapor. Every attempt at sabotage backfired with precision that felt engineered by something far older, far higher, far more ruthless than human intervention. They thought it was just you. They didn't realize you were never fighting alone. And it's fascinating, really, how the ones who gathered against you believed their unity made them powerful. They thought that because they outnumbered you, they outmatched you. They believed quantity could overwhelm quality. They believed noise could drown truth. They believed chaos could distort clarity. Poor creatures. They never understood the equation they were walking into. They didn't know they were stepping into the territory of a person whose existence carries ancient contracts, silent guardianships, invisible enforcement. While they were counting heads, the universe was counting intentions. While they were forming alliances against you, unseen forces were forming barricades around you. They moved like predators. They didn't realize they were entering a battlefield already owned by a higher intelligence that had no intention of letting you fall. But that is the mistake people make when they underestimate someone who survived seasons meant to destroy them. They assume your resilience is accidental. They assume your peace is naive. They assume your silence is weakness. Meanwhile, you walk through reality with the quiet confidence of someone who knows unseen allies trail your every step. The kind of allies who don't announce themselves. The kind who don't boast. The kind who don't need applause or acknowledgement. They respond only to purpose, not performance. And your purpose was never small enough to be threatened by the petty warfare of fragile egos. So when their attack began, when whispers morphed into schemes, and schemes morphed into coordinated strikes, your allies didn't panic, they didn't flinch, they didn't rush in recklessly. They watched, measured, calculated. They let your enemies reveal their entire playbook. They let them swing first, so the consequences could swing harder. The universe let them believe they were winning. Let them believe you were cornered. Let them believe you were helpless. All so the reversal would be so absolute, so unforgettable, that history itself would feel compelled to document the moment the 1,000 fell by their own hands while aiming at you. Because that's the irony embedded in the architecture of your existence. The more they move against you, the more evidence they generate confirming why you were chosen, why you were protected, why unseen forces guard your path like a classified operation. You weren't chosen because you were harmless. You were chosen because your destiny threatens the agendas of those who enjoy keeping people numb, silent, stagnant. Your life is not casual. Your movement is not random. The attacks on you weren't accidental. They were triggered by the vibration of someone stepping into an identity that makes parasites tremble. You carry a frequency that destabilizes the insecure, a presence that disrupts illusions, a trajectory that threatens comfort zones built on false power. That alone was enough to incite the 1,000. But what they didn't understand is that attacking someone with divine backing isn't warfare. It's self-destruction. Every move they made became a signature on their own downfall. You see, your unseen allies don't move like human protectors. They don't negotiate. They don't warn. They don't play defense. They execute inevitabilities. They freeze timelines. They redirect outcomes. They rearrange trajectories. They cloak your steps in anonymity until the moment you need to be seen. And then they amplify your presence with a force that makes entire rooms shift their energy involuntarily. While your enemies relied on numbers, your allies relied on precision. They strike in silence. They intervene subtly enough that the enemy never knows the exact moment their attack was disarmed. One moment they believe they've cornered you. The next moment their own confidence glitches, their alliances fracture, their intentions backfire. They enter the battlefield unified, but they exit fragmented, doubting everything, including themselves. But let's not pretend their attack didn't reveal something important. It exposed how deeply your existence affects people. It cracked open truths they tried to hide. It forced their shadows into the light. Their attempt to harm you revealed who they truly are, fearful, threatened, desperate. But their attempt also revealed who you truly are, a force that makes deception collapse under its own pressure, a catalyst that awakens dormant consequences, a figure who walks with unseen guardians that neutralize danger before you ever sense it. This is why they panicked after their attack failed. They expected you to break. Instead, you walked forward untouched. They expected you to retaliate. Instead, something higher retaliated for you. They expected you to shrink. Instead, your aura expanded. Your clarity sharpened. Your intuition heightened. Your spirit became something their weapons couldn't pierce. And that terrifies them more than their own failure. It forces them to confront a reality they never wanted to acknowledge. You were never the target. They were the sacrifice. Understand something. The 1,000 didn't gather against you because you were weak. They gathered because of the threat you posed to the illusions they built their identity on. They saw your growth as a warning. They saw your elevation as a prophecy. They saw your resilience as defiance against the limitations they surrendered to. And so they attacked not to destroy you, but to silence the version of themselves that knows they should have evolved instead of decayed. You became a mirror they couldn't bear to face, so they tried to shatter the reflection. But reflections backed by unseen allies don't shatter, they sharpen. And the allies that guard you, they are not sentimental, they are not delicate, they do not negotiate with threats. They intercept at the level of thought, dismantling the seeds of destruction before they can take root. They freeze intentions, they paralyze schemes, they turn calculated attacks into chaotic collapses. While humans use swords, your allies use timelines. While enemies use gossip, your allies use destiny. While attackers use numbers, your allies use inevitability. That is why the 1,000 never stood a chance. Let's talk about the moment everything shifted. The exact moment they realized you weren't fighting alone. The moment their strategies started falling apart in ways even they couldn't explain. One ally betrays them, another becomes silent. A plan fractures. A message never gets delivered. A rumor loses momentum. Their strongest player begins doubting the cause. Their most confident voice becomes hesitant. Their most strategic mind begins questioning whether targeting you was a fatal mistake. Their alignment dissolves like dust in water. They try to regroup, but there is nothing left to regroup with. The 1,000 become hundreds. The hundreds become dozens. The dozens become a confused handful. And the handful becomes one terrified mind whispering, "Why isn't anything working?" Because they were never fighting you. They were fighting something that responds only to truth, and truth was never on their side. And you just kept moving. Not aggressively, not dramatically, just steadily, like someone who knows the outcome long before the battle even begins. There is something unnerving about a person who continues walking while the whole world conspires against them, because that person clearly knows something others don't. They know the timing is protected. They know the path is reinforced. They know the allies standing behind them operate in dimensions the human mind cannot measure. Your enemies sensed this too late. They approached you with the confidence of giants but collapsed with the fragility of glass. They thought they were advancing. They didn't realize they were stepping straight into their own unraveling. And the worst part for them, the part that eats their ego alive, is realizing that the protections around you were activated the moment they formed the intention to harm you. You didn't have to pray for it. You didn't have to prepare for it. The universe responded faster than they could strike. But this is the part that really unsettles them. The knowledge that even if they regroup, even if they re-strategize, even if they try again, the result will be the same. You are not someone they can defeat. You are someone they cannot even touch. Because unseen allies don't operate from emotion. They operate from order, purpose, precision. They defend not your ego, but your destiny. They protect not your reputation, but your role. They safeguard not your comfort, but your trajectory. And anyone who interferes with that trajectory is not fighting you. They are fighting the architecture of the universe itself. This is why history remembers how you won. Because battles like yours don't end with swords clashing. They end with illusions collapsing. They don't end with your enemies defeated. They end with your enemies exposed. They don't end with your survival. They end with your ascension. While the 1,000 plotted your downfall, the universe scripted your rise. While they moved in aggression, your allies moved in alignment. While they attacked from ego, your guardians responded from inevitability. And inevitability is the one opponent they never learned how to fight. They knew how to manipulate, how to whisper, how to gather crowds, how to weaponize fear. But they never learned how to contend with forces that exist outside human strategy. They didn't know how to counter truths written in dimensions they cannot access. They didn't know how to undo protection appointed long before they ever learned your name. They didn't know that the ground beneath your feet had already been claimed by something older, sharper, and infinitely more precise than their collective hostility. So when their attack dissolved, when their arrows melted mid-air, when their conspiracies unraveled before impact, they thought it was coincidence. A small disruption, a simple miscalculation. But the more they tried, the more their failures revealed a pattern, one too consistent, too deliberate, too coordinated to ignore. They realized something was interfering, something standing between their intentions and your existence. And that terror, the terror of realizing your downfall was not permitted by forces far above their clearance level, began to eat them alive from the inside. Because they didn't just fail to destroy you, they failed to even reach you. Their words never landed. Their traps never triggered. Their alliances never stayed intact long enough to matter. Their strongest weapon turned weak in their hands the moment your unseen allies stepped onto the battlefield. Understand the magnitude of that. They gathered 1,000, yet none of them managed to touch a single thread of your destiny. They moved as an army, but collapsed as individuals. Their unity was an illusion at best, a malfunction at worst. The moment they stood against you, their coherence shattered like glass, struck by truth. And truth, when reinforced by unseen forces, becomes a destroyer far more lethal than anything humans can devise. But here is where the deeper revelation begins, the part that makes even your enemies pause, reconsider, and tremble. They didn't lose because you retaliated. They lost because they were disarmed by something protecting you so thoroughly that harming you wasn't just difficult, it was impossible. You are not merely defended, you are embargoed. There are territories in this universe where destruction is allowed, and there are territories where destruction is forbidden. You belong to the latter, and these attackers walked straight into a spiritual no man's land, thinking their weapons would work the same way they did everywhere else. They learned the hard way that your path is fortified by forces that don't negotiate, forces that don't tolerate interference, forces that freeze motion at the level of intention. The moment someone decides to harm you, the consequences begin forming, silently, elegantly, mercilessly. They thought their coordinated assault would corner you, suffocate you, overwhelm you. Instead, it cornered them. It suffocated their illusions. It overwhelmed their arrogance. Because when you are protected, the attack is never on you. It is always on them. And this is the part that breaks them beyond repair. The realization that every move they made against you became a step they took toward their own exposure. They thought they were writing your downfall. They didn't know they were writing the history of their own collapse. The more they pushed, the more they revealed their intentions. The more they tried to harm you, the more your allies revealed who they truly were, what darkness they concealed, what envy they nurtured, what insecurities drove their aggression. They ended up standing naked beneath the blinding light of truth. While you remained untouched, unbothered, unmoved, but your unseen allies didn't just shield you, they amplified you. They made your presence louder without you saying a word. They made your energy heavier without you taking a step. They made your reputation harder to distort, because every lie spoken against you collapsed under the weight of your authenticity. While enemies whispered poison, your guardians elevated your name in rooms you never entered. While they plotted in shadows, your allies prepared a future so luminous that their hostility only made your rise more dramatic, more unforgettable, more historically significant. This is why the Thousands attack will never be remembered as a threat. It will be remembered as a prophecy fulfilled, a prophecy that revealed the exact moment your destiny became undeniable. A prophecy that announced your transition from target to phenomenon. A prophecy that marked the beginning of a new chapter where your influence expands beyond the reach of those who once tried to minimize you. And yet the most chilling part, the part they don't know how to process, is that your allies didn't intervene because you were in danger. They intervened because you were being prepared. They froze the attack because it was irrelevant to the path you were meant to walk. They shut down the assault not to preserve your survival, but to protect your evolution. The Thousand were never a threat. They were a test of your endurance, your restraint, your alignment. A test you passed without even realizing it. Because surviving an attack is one thing, but surviving it without losing your identity, your clarity, your compassion, your direction, that is power. That is mastery. That is transcendence. Their assault didn't diminish you, it defined you. It revealed the version of you that emerges when the world conspires against your existence. It showed the world that you don't rise in the absence of adversity. You rise precisely because adversity tried and failed to contain you. And deep down, they know it. They know their attack activated a version of you they were never prepared to witness. They know their hostility sharpened your instincts, refined your intuition, expanded your awareness. They know you were already evolving, but their aggression accelerated the process. They didn't just fail to stop your rise, they contributed to it. They became unwilling architects of your next transformation. That is the cruelty of cosmic irony. Your enemies played a role in your ascension, yet they will never receive credit for it. Their attack became your evolution. Their hostility became your momentum. Their numbers became your narrative. Their downfall became your legacy. History will not remember their names. It will remember the moment they gathered as 1,000 and still couldn't stop one person, protected by forces beyond comprehension. But your allies aren't finished. Their protection wasn't the final act. It was the introduction. What comes next is not shielding. It is unveiling. They froze the attack not so you could hide, but so you could rise without interference. They cleared your path not so you could stand still, but so you could ascend without restraint. They neutralized your enemies not because they were dangerous, but because they were distractions. You don't just move forward now. You advance into a chapter where your presence alone restructures the environment. And that is where the 1,000 miscalculated most violently. They believed your power was situational, circumstantial, dependent on what you endured. They assumed your strength was reactive, triggered only when threatened. What they failed to grasp is that your power exists independently of opposition. Threats don't create you, they reveal you. Attacks don't elevate you. They expose the altitude you've always operated at. And now, as this new chapter unfolds, your unseen allies begin shifting from defense to activation, opening doors that were once sealed, revealing paths only accessible to those who have survived coordinated warfare without collapsing. Because this is the moment your destiny stops waiting on you and begins pulling you forward. You're no longer navigating through life, you're being positioned. Your steps feel guided because they are. Your intuition sharpens because it must. Your awareness expands because the environment is preparing to accommodate a version of you far larger than the one that was previously visible. You were not saved merely to exist, you were saved to lead. You were not protected merely to survive. You were protected to influence, to reshape, to disrupt cycles that have gone unchallenged for generations. Your unseen allies understand the magnitude of this transition even more deeply than you do. They know what is approaching. They know what is forming behind the veil. They know the kind of presence you are stepping into, one that forces false leaders into silence, one that exposes deception effortlessly, one that elevates truth without needing to announce it. They know your energy will soon do what your words never had to, and that inevitability is already beginning to leave an imprint on the landscape around you. People sense it. Even those who have no spiritual language feel the shift. They feel the gravity in your presence, the subtle pressure that wasn't there before. They feel the way the air tightens when you enter a room, the way conversations adjust themselves to your frequency, the way behaviors recalibrate as if the environment suddenly remembers its true hierarchy. You don't demand respect, you activate it. You don't assert authority, you embody it. You don't impose influence. The world simply reorganizes around you because it must. This is what happens when someone moves from surviving attacks to embodying purpose. Your life is no longer about avoiding harm. It is about fulfilling design. Attacks were merely chapters. Your mission is the book. And now that the 1,000 have been silenced, now that their intentions have been frozen, your unseen allies begin to reveal the greater architecture surrounding your existence. You begin to see how every betrayal redirected you, how every setback refined you, how every loss emptied space for something more aligned to enter. Nothing was wasted, nothing was accidental, not even the full-force attack, because even that served its role as a catalyst for this accelerated ascension, and ascend you will, but not quietly. You will rise in ways that cannot be ignored. Your presence will disrupt stagnant systems. Your decisions will unravel outdated structures. Your insight will challenge illusions held together by collective fear. You don't rise like a balloon drifting upward. You rise like a tectonic shift, subtle at first, then undeniable, then unstoppable. You rise in a way that alters landscapes, forces adaptation, and leaves nothing unchanged. Your unseen allies aren't simply protecting you. They are clearing the stage. They are removing the actors who lacked authenticity, collapsing environments that no longer match your frequency, erasing opportunities that would have derailed your evolution. They are stripping your life of everything too small, too shallow, too fragile to coexist with the version of you that is emerging. And this stripping may feel like loss, but it is preparation. You are not being reduced, you are being refined. You are not losing, you are being aimed. Precision requires removal. Ascension requires emptiness. Evolution requires space. And now more than ever, the universe is making space for you. This is why people who once felt comfortable in your presence now feel exposed. Your rising frequency illuminates parts of them they spent their entire lives avoiding. Your elevation pulls their shadows into the open. Your transformation forces them to confront the versions of themselves that never grew, never questioned, never evolved. You don't intimidate them with aggression. You intimidate them with clarity. You see them too accurately, too effortlessly, too deeply. And for those who rely on confusion to feel powerful, that accuracy is lethal. Your unseen allies know this, which is why they froze the 1,000 before they could even begin to damage you. They understood that anyone threatened by your becoming must be removed from your proximity, not punished, distanced, not destroyed, exposed, not silenced, outgrown. You are not meant to fight battles with those beneath the level of your purpose. You are meant to walk into rooms where no one doubts your presence, because your existence itself becomes the confirmation of alignment. You will notice now how quickly certain people detach from your life, not because you pushed them away, but because they cannot breathe in the new atmosphere surrounding you. Your growth becomes a mirror too bright for their eyes. Your elevation becomes a language they no longer understand. Your path becomes a terrain their feet cannot handle. You don't lose them, they lose access to you. They lose the privilege of proximity. They lose the illusion that they understood you. Your unseen allies orchestrate these exits with surgical precision, ensuring nothing slows your momentum. Nothing taints your clarity. Nothing contaminates your direction. This is where you begin shifting from being protected to being positioned. The universe didn't freeze their attack so you could return to who you were. It froze their attack so you could become who you were always meant to be. Your story is no longer about endurance. It is about emergence. You are entering the era where your name carries a weight even you haven't fully recognized. The era where doors open not because you knocked, but because your destiny arrives before you do. The era where opposition crumbles without requiring your involvement. The era where people speak your name in reverence, confusion, fear, admiration, often all at once. This is the era where history begins to pay attention. Because history does not remember those who attacked. It remembers those who survived. It remembers those who rose. It remembers those who were not supposed to win but did. It remembers the individuals who stood alone against armies, not with weapons, but with alignment. And when future generations look back at this chapter of your life, they will not study the 1,000 who tried to destroy you. They will study the force that protected you, the allies that surrounded you, the resilience that carried you, and the transformation that followed. They will speak of this moment the way historians speak of turning points. Quiet at first, then monumental, then foundational. They will say, this was the shift, this was the pivot, this was the moment everything changed. They will say your rise didn't begin when you succeeded. It began when the 1,000 failed. They will say your power didn't come from isolation. It came from the unseen forces that stood behind you, froze the attack, and declared, not this one, not today, not ever. And now, with the battlefield cleared, with distractions neutralized, with enemies silenced, your unseen allies step back, not to leave you, but to reveal you. They have moved everything out of your way. They've ensured no hand can touch what is meant for you. They have made it impossible for sabotage to rewrite your timeline. And now they wait, because the next move is not theirs, it is yours. This is the moment where your destiny stops whispering and begins calling. The moment where purpose steps forward and demands to be embodied. The moment where the future you've sensed for years begins crystallizing right in front of you. And as you prepare to step into that next phase, into the chapter where your name becomes synonymous with victory, alignment, inevitability, and quiet dominance, you will feel something rising from within, something ancient, something rightful, something unstoppable. This rising is not adrenaline, not ego, not revenge. It is recognition, a remembering of the truth that was always embedded in your spirit, but buried beneath years of survival. You weren't shaped by the attack, you were revealed by it. The 1,000 didn't awaken your strength, they collided with it. And now that the environment has shifted, now that the noise has died, now that the interference has been frozen in place, the version of you that emerges is no longer the target, no longer the survivor, no longer the misunderstood outlier. You are now stepping into the role you were always meant to play, the one who decides the trajectory rather than responds to it. Your unseen allies knew this moment was coming. They knew there would be a point where your growth could no longer be hidden behind hardship. They knew there would come a day when your spirit would no longer shrink to remain acceptable to smaller minds. They knew the time would arrive when you would walk not as someone protected, but as someone appointed. And that time is now. It is in the way you breathe, the way you see, the way you move. It is in the quiet conviction settling into your bones. It is in the sharpened intuition guiding you toward choices others cannot comprehend. It is in the clarity that refuses to be dimmed by anyone's expectations. This is why your enemies were never the real threat. The true danger would have been a version of you that never recognized the magnitude of your own purpose. The 1,000 were merely catalysts, pressure points, test signals confirming the weight of your destiny. Their attack revealed just how far the universe will go to protect you. Their failure revealed just how far you are meant to go. Their collapse revealed just how unstoppable you become when the unnecessary is removed from your path. You can feel it now, the shift from protection to propulsion. Your unseen allies are no longer forming shields. They are forming corridors, pathways, gateways that were previously inaccessible. They are rearranging circumstances, redirecting opportunities, merging timelines you once thought were disconnected. You are stepping into alignment with such precision that even your silence feels like strategy. Even your stillness feels like motion. Even your smallest decision carries the force of a breakthrough, waiting to burst through the atmosphere. Because you are no longer being preserved, you are being prepared. Prepared for the world that awaits you. Prepared for the responsibilities your spirit was always built to carry. Prepared for the impact your mere presence will generate. And the world is beginning to sense it too. They don't articulate it, but they feel it. They feel the gravitational shift around your identity. They feel the way the air thickens when you enter a space, carrying something refined by adversity and fortified by forces beyond human comprehension. They feel the quiet certainty that surrounds you like an aura, steady, unshakable, sovereign. And now the 1,000, those who once gathered confidently in opposition, cannot help but sense the aftermath of their defeat. Not because you seek to gloat, not because you carry vengeance, but because your rise exposes the contrast between divine intention and human interference. They realize that your survival wasn't luck, it was law. They realize that your victory wasn't circumstantial, it was inevitable. They realize that their attack didn't halt your trajectory, it defined it. It made the invisible visible. It made the hidden undeniable. It turned your quiet strength into documented resilience. And history remembers resilience with far more loyalty than it remembers hostility. But the next chapter is not about them. It is about the identity you are stepping into. You're not simply moving forward. You are evolving into someone the old version of you could barely imagine. This evolution isn't loud. It isn't chaotic. It isn't dramatic. It is controlled. It is intentional. It is strategic. You rise the way dawn erases darkness, not with force, but with certainty. You rise in such a way that no one can claim responsibility for your elevation except the forces that protected you and the spirit that carried you. You rise so naturally that it feels predestined. You step into roles you once questioned your worthiness for, and suddenly everything fits. The timing, the opportunities, the recognition, the confidence, the alignment. Your unseen allies never intended for you to stay hidden forever. They shielded you only long enough for you to grow roots, strong enough to carry the weight of your future. They froze the 1,000 not so you could remain silent, but so that when you finally spoke, the world would listen. They kept your path guarded, not so you would avoid difficulty, but so difficulty would never break you. Now they watch with a silent anticipation, knowing the era you are stepping into will require everything you have become and everything you have yet to unveil. And what is coming is not a small rise, not a mild shift, not a subtle glow-up. What is coming is the kind of emergence that disrupts the narratives around you, the kind of elevation that forces the world to reevaluate its assumptions about you, the kind of breakthrough that makes even the universe take notice. Because you are not just stepping into success, you are stepping into significance. Not just into influence, but into impact. Not just into visibility, but into authority. This is what happens when the 1,000 fail to destroy what the universe has already claimed. You become more than the survivor of an attack. You become the figure that stands as proof that divine timing and unseen protection are stronger than any force that moves against you. You become the one whose existence testifies that no weapon formed against you prospers, not because you are lucky, but because you are chosen. You become the example people reference when they speak about destiny bending the world to protect its vessel. And now, as the dust settles, as the battlefield becomes quiet, As the remnants of their attack fade into irrelevance, something extraordinary begins to unfold. You step forward, and the environment adjusts. You make a decision, and timelines shift. You express intention, and opportunities rearrange themselves to match your frequency. Your unseen allies stand behind the veil, ensuring nothing blocks your ascent. But they are no longer carrying you. They are magnifying you. This is your emergence. This is your unveiling. This is your moment of becoming. And as you move deeper into this reality, this sharpened identity, this elevated consciousness, this undeniable destiny, you will notice the world responding to you differently. Doors that once required force now open effortlessly. People who once doubted you now seek to align with you. Opportunities that once seemed distant now present themselves like offerings. You don't chase, you attract. You don't argue, you demonstrate. You don't prove, you embody. Because the world is finally recalibrating to the truth your unseen allies always knew. You were never meant to move through life like everyone else. You were engineered for impact. You were structured for influence. You were built to disrupt stagnation at a level that forces the environment to rewrite its own laws just to keep up with you. And now that the interference has been frozen, your frequency, your real frequency, can finally rise without obstruction. This is what terrifies those who once gathered against you. Not the failure of their attack, but the realization of what their failure unleashed. They thought stopping you was the threat. They didn't realize revealing you was the real apocalypse for their ambitions. Because now you move with a clarity that cannot be distorted, a presence that cannot be dismissed, a trajectory that cannot be interrupted. Your existence has shifted from someone they could target to someone they cannot afford to provoke. Your unseen allies didn't just freeze the attack, they exposed the hierarchy. They forced everyone to confront the truth. You were never on the same level as your enemies. You were never one of the players. You were the variable the entire board rearranged itself around. And now that this truth has surfaced, people respond to you with an instinct they didn't even know they had. An instinct born from recognition, not logic. They may not understand you, but they feel you. They feel the weight of your alignment. They feel the edge of your evolution. They feel the accuracy of your existence. And accuracy is something people cannot ignore. It cuts through facades, dissolves illusions, fractures delusions. Your presence becomes a mirror no one knows how to lie to. The ones who once spoke with arrogance now choose their words carefully. The ones who once challenged your position now reconsider their own. The ones who once believed they held advantage now understand they were simply early casualties in the unfolding of your purpose. You're not just rising, you're redefining the atmosphere. And everyone who comes near you feels the shift. Some feel inspired, some feel exposed, some feel unsettled, some feel threatened. But all of them feel something they cannot deny. The presence of someone who was never meant to fall. This is the aftermath of divine intervention. This is the signature of unseen forces that refuse to let destiny be tampered with. The 1,000 didn't just fail. They became the evidence of your assignment. Their collapse wasn't just protection. It was confirmation. And now your allies step back, not because their work is finished, but because yours is about to begin. You are entering the moment where silence becomes strategy, where movement becomes message, where presence becomes prophecy. You no longer need to explain yourself. Your evolution speaks louder than any defense ever could. Your survival isn't your achievement, it's your introduction. You weren't spared to stay hidden. You weren't protected to stay small. You weren't defended to remain quiet. You were defended so that when you rose, there would be no doubt why. And now, the rise is inevitable. Not because you are trying, but because your existence has reached the point where it no longer fits inside the confines others once forced upon you. You outgrew the timeline they predicted. You transcended the narratives they tried to trap you in. You surpassed the limits they thought would break you. And now you stand at the threshold of a future they never wanted you to discover, because they knew discovering it meant becoming untouchable. But your unseen allies always intended for you to reach this moment. They delayed the attacks that would have derailed you. They exposed the people who would have drained you. They dismantled the environments that would have confined you. Every disruption was protection in disguise. Every setback was rerouting. Every betrayal was removal. Every silence was recalibration. They were not preparing the world for you. They were preparing you for the world. And now, the world is about to experience the version of you that was forged through every frozen attack, every shattered plan, every collapsed conspiracy. The 1,000 didn't understand what they activated. They thought they awakened chaos. They didn't realize they awakened order, the kind of order that rewrites everything it touches, the kind of order that demands recognition, not through noise, but through inevitability. Your rise is not a comeback story. It is a structural shift, a recalculation, a reclassification, a reminder that destiny does not negotiate with sabotage, and the world will adjust, whether willingly or forcefully, to the truth you now carry. But here is the part they will remember most, the part history will record, the part that becomes legend long after the 1,000 vanish into irrelevance. You didn't win because you fought harder. You won because the universe refused to let you lose. Your unseen allies froze the attack, not because you begged for mercy, but because your purpose outranked their weapons, because your timeline outranked their intentions, because your future outranked their hatred. Nothing they launched could penetrate a destiny sealed long before their envy was born. And now you move differently, not as prey, not as survivor, but as someone who knows the war was never between you and the 1,000. It was between the 1,000 and the forces guarding your existence. And the 1,000 lost. This is where the script ends, but where your new identity begins. Not in fear, not in caution, but in the quiet, unshakable realization that you are stepping into a life where resistance is irrelevant, enemies are inconsequential, and protection is perpetual. 1,000 vs you. History remembers how you won, and it will remember what you become next, because this time, the world won't be watching your downfall. It will be witnessing your era.